With the NFL draft now behind us and the dreams of many young men coming true, I'd like to inspire those whose dreams did not come true, the undrafted players, by taking a look at the greatest undrafted quarterbacks of all time, and we'll do it in the fashion of 2010's internet with a good old top 10 list. That's right, the top 10 greatest undrafted quarterbacks of all time. Let's get into it.
And here to present tonight's top 10 list,
Sports are history.
Our first undrafted QB, number 10 on the list, Jon Kitna. That's right, Jon Kitna, who would play for 16 years in the NFL. 7 of those years he would be a day one starter. 2 of them he didn't play at all, but still not a bad career, right? He would play for the Seahawks, the Bengals, the Lions, and the Cowboys. He would be the first quarterback in Bengals and Lions history to play every snap for a single season, so that's something. Despite the long career, he would only play in 2 playoff games, once taking over for an injured Carson Palmer, who was hurt in the very first drive of a wildcard round playoff game against the Steelers in 2005. He did not do well in either of his playoff games. Really not well. At number 9, we've got Bobby Hebert? Hebert, really, yes, that is how you spell it, and it's pronounced Hebert, fucking French. All right, and he was every bit as Cajun as his name sounds.
I'm a little Cajun boy from Cutoff, Louisiana, about 50 miles south of New Orleans, but I never looked at myself, and I still don't, as a celebrity.
Bobby Hebert would play 12 years in the league, 7 of those as a day one starter, mostly with the Saints, although 2 with the Falcons. He would also take the Saints to their first ever playoff berth and get them there 3 times total. Shove that in your pipe, Archie. Now, he never did well in any of those playoff games, just like our boy Kitna, but he did get to a Pro Bowl and is in the Saints Ring of Honor, back when they didn't have as much to honor, I think. But still, nope, Bobby Hebert, no shame. Good on you. Number 9. Bobby Hebert. Really, it is pronounced Hebert. I'm not kidding. Look it up. And at number 8, we've got Doug Rootin' Tootie, Fresh and Flutie. That's right, for all you short kings out there, we have Doug Flutie, who is every bit of 5'10" in his game day cleats.
I'm moving up.
Now, Doug Flutie was a Heisman Trophy winner. He would have a 21-year pro career. First in the USFL for a year, then 4 years in the NFL, mainly as a backup with limited playing time, but then he would go to the Canadian Football League for 8 years and absolutely dominate. We are talking 3 Grey Cup champions with 3 Grey Cup MVPs. That's their championship game. He would also win 3 Canadian Football League MVPs, which they call their Most Outstanding Player Award. The MOP? Really, Canada? Come on. After those 8 years in the Canadian Football League, he would go back to the NFL and play for another 8 years there. And in his first year back in the NFL, he would go to his 1 Pro Bowl of his career and win Comeback Player of the Year, as well as taking the Buffalo Bills to the postseason. Now, he didn't win a playoff game, but still, what a year and what a career. Doug Flutie is in the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame as well as the College Football Hall of Fame. Doug Flutie, number 8. All right, now we get to, I think, the controversial part of the list. Numbers 7 through 4, you might be able to jumble up in any way you want, but damn it, it's my list, so it's my order. And at number 7, we've got Dave Krieg. Dave Krieg would play for 18 years in the league, 10 of them being a day one starter, mostly with the Seahawks. He would get to the Pro Bowl 3 times, all of those with the Seahawks, and the playoffs 6 times, 4 of them with the Seahawks, and he would even get the Seahawks all the way to the AFC Championship game, yes, back when they were still in the AFC West. He would also play for Kansas City, Detroit, Chicago, Arizona, and Tennessee. In his 1 starting year for Kansas City, he would get them to the playoffs, and even take the Lions to the playoffs in his half season as a starter for them, which might be the most impressive feat of his career. He was also inducted into the Seahawks Ring of Honor. Number 7, David Krieg. Coming in at number 6, we've got Jake Delhomme, and I understand if you think he should be a few notches higher on the list. seeing as he's one of only 2 quarterbacks on it to make it to a Super Bowl. He would also have a 15-year NFL career, although the first 6 of those years he spent riding the pine at New Orleans.
And my behind was burning.
He would then go to Carolina for 7 years and be the starter for them for most of that time. And in that time, he would get to, well, only 1 Pro Bowl, but he would get them to a Super Bowl and another NFC Championship game. So, I mean, he had a 5-3 postseason record. Besides the top selection on this list, he's probably the best postseason quarterback on it. So you gotta give it up for the guy. He's also in the Panthers Ring of Honor, which they call the Hall of Honor. Let's give it up for number 6, Jake Delhomme.
My bleep is hanging out.
At number 5, we've got one for you NFL historians out there. It is Jim Hart. Who the fuck is Jim Hart? Well, he's a 19-year NFL vet. That's who. 18 of those years with the St. Louis Cardinals and 15 years straight as their starter. He would make 4 Pro Bowls in that time and take the Cardinals to the playoffs 3 times. Now, he didn't win any of the playoff games with the Cardinals, and his stats aren't quite as good as some of the other guys on this list, and the guys who are below him, like, you know, the Dave Craigs and the Jake Delhommes, but he played in a much different era, so I don't think you can compare them statistically.
When Hart finished his career, he was 3rd in NFL history in passes attempted, completed, and total yards.
I also think they had better teams around him than Jim Hart ever did. He is also in the Cardinals Ring of Honor. Let's give it up for number 5, Jim Hart. But a guy who you can compare statistically to the Dave Craigs and Jake Delhommes is our number 5 on the list, and it's because of his statistics that he is higher than those guys on our list. It is Jeff Garcia. Jeff Garcia spent the first 5 years of his pro career in the Canadian Football League, and in the last year he would win a Grey Cup and be the Grey Cup MVP. He would then go to the NFL, where he was with the 49ers. With the 49ers, he would have 4 starting seasons with them and make it to the Pro Bowl 3 straight years with them and get them to the playoffs a couple times, winning them a playoff game. He would later be a backup in Philadelphia, and late in the season when Donovan McNabb would get injured, he would take over as their starter, going 5-1 in his starts that season, taking them to the playoffs and winning a playoff game with them. He would then be in Tampa Bay for a couple years as their starter. He would make another Pro Bowl with them, giving them 4 Pro Bowls in total between 2 different teams, and also take them to the playoffs. He wouldn't help them win a playoff game, but that's 4 playoff appearances between 3 different teams. And if you look at his stats, you will see he had a spectacular touchdown to interception ratio, throwing more touchdowns and less interceptions than Jake Delhomme. Again, I must stress, I think he was better than Jake Delhomme, just the team around him not quite as good. So number 4, Jeff Garcia. Coming in at number 3, you know him, you hate him. I don't know them. It's Tony Romo. Tony Romo would spend 14 years in the NFL, all with the Cowboys. He would spend 9 of those years as their day 1 starter. He would make 4 Pro Bowls, and in 2014, he led the NFL in passer rating and completion percentage. He would also make 2nd team All-Pro, our first All-Pro nod on the list. He would take the Cowboys to the playoffs 4 times, and despite the popular narrative, he was actually a pretty good playoff quarterback. Yes, his team didn't win often, only 2-4 in the postseason with him, but in his last postseason run, he had a quarterback rating of 125.8. Pretty good. He is still the Cowboys' all-time franchise leader in passing yards and touchdowns. Not bad for an undrafted guy. And while he's not in the Cowboys Ring of Honor, Jerry Jones said that he would be one day. I mean, it's been 10 years.
Come on, Jerry. It's my quarterback.
Number 3, Tony Romo. Now we get to the part of the list that I don't think is going to be in dispute at all, seeing as these last 2 guys are our only Hall of Famers. And at number 2, we've got Warren Moon. Warren Moon would be a 17-year NFL vet despite spending the first 6 years of his pro career in the Canadian Football League because of racism. And in those 6 years, he would win 5 straight Grey Cup championships. This would make the NFL take notice and go, gee, maybe a black guy can play quarterback.
In the 70s, black athletes could play any position except quarterback.
So I went to Warren and asked him if he would consider changing position. And he looked at me and said, never. I was born to play quarterback.
He would go and play 10 years as the starter for the Houston Oilers, where he still holds like every franchise passing record for that team. They're the Titans now, yes, but he still has all of their franchise passing records. He would also play some time with the Vikings and the Seahawks, and then be a backup on the Chiefs for a couple of years. He would be a starter for 15 consecutive seasons in the NFL, and in those 15 years make 9 Pro Bowls. He would also make it to the postseason 9 times, although a couple of those times he was hurt by the time the postseason rolled around. He is, of course, in the Titans/Oilers Ring of Honor with his number 1 retired. That's right, you can't be number 1 in Tennessee. That belongs to Warren Moon. He is also in the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame. And yes, the NFL Hall of Fame. There is no doubt about it. The number 2 spot on this list solely belongs to Warren Moon. And now we get to our top spot on the list. But first, an honorable mention. Yes, Eric Kramer, whose career we will not go over because he's just a mention, but an honorable one.
That's the single greatest honor an athlete could ever have.
And at number 1, no surprise to anybody, it's Kurt Warner, 12-year NFL vet. Kurt Warner, although he played 3 years in the Arena League and 1 year in the European Football League, as well as being the top grocery bagger at Hy-Vee for a year, which is like a Midwest Kroger. His first year as a starter in the NFL, he would win League MVP, the Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP, something that's only been done in the same season by a quarterback once since then. Yeah, it was Patrick Mahomes.
Get a room, you two.
In that Super Bowl he won that year, he would be the first quarterback to throw for 400 or more yards in a Super Bowl. He would win 2 total league MVPs and go to 3 total Super Bowls with 2 different teams, twice with the Rams, once with the Cardinals. But my God, he was great in those Super Bowls, except for the second one. He would go to the Pro Bowl 4 times and have 2 first-team All-Pro selections. He led the league in passing yards once, touchdown in passer rating twice, and 3 times in completion percentage. He threw for 300 or more yards in 41.9% of games he played in his career, which is still a record in the NFL. He also leads the league in career passing yard average per game in the postseason. Yes, at 304, that was the average amount of yards he threw for in playoffs. He is also tied for the most passing touchdowns in a single postseason run with Joe Montana, Patrick Mahomes, and of course, Joe Flacco. He is in the Cardinals Ring of Honor, but not the Rams Ring of Honor. What the fuck, Rams? He's the best quarterback in your franchise's history. You gotta fix that. I mean, I know that the split up between Warner and the Rams was about as amicable as what Diana Rossini and her husband are going through right now.
There's a lot of yelling going on in my house.
But come on, it's been over 20 years. Make up already and get Warner in that Ring of Honor. He is also in the Arena Football League Hall of Fame, and yes, the NFL Hall of Fame, the only man in both of those Hall of Fames. Give it up for your number 1 greatest undrafted QB of all time, Kurt Warner. And there you have it, the top 10 greatest undrafted quarterbacks of all time. But if you think I missed anyone or that the list is all fucking wacky-do and bullshit, well, just let me know in the comments. Come on, let's talk about it. Also, give me a good old like and subscribe if you're so inclined, and I'll see you in the next one. Many young men coming,
and my behind was burning.